of the day, students. Today we will discuss on the topic air. So let's start. Our earth is surrounded by a huge blanket of air which is known as atmosphere. All living beings on this earth depend upon the atmosphere for their survival. It provides us the air we breathe and protects us from the harmful effects of the sun rays. Without this blanket of protection, we will be baked alive by the heat of the sun during the daytime and get frozen during the night time. So, it is this mass of air that has made the temperature on the earth livable. Do you know, students, that the air we breathe in is actually a mixture of many gases? Nitrogen and oxygen are two gases which make up the bulk of the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, helium, ozone, argon, and hydrogen are found in lesser quantities. Apart from these gases, tiny dust particles are also present in the air. You all can see in the pie chart the percentage of different constituents of air. Now we will study about each air one by one. So let's start with the nitrogen. Nitrogen is the most plentiful gas in the air. When we inhale, we take some amount of nitrogen in our lungs and exhale it. But plants need nitrogen for their survival. They cannot take nitrogen directly from the sun. Bacteria that live in the soil and roots of some plants take nitrogen from the air and change its form so that plants can use it. Now we'll discuss about the oxygen. Oxygen is the second most plentiful gas in the air. Humans and animals take oxygen from the air, so they breathe. Green plants produce oxygen during photosynthesis. In this way, oxygen content in the air remains constant. If we cut trees, then this balance gets disturbed. Now we will study about the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is another important gas, students. Green plants use carbon dioxide to make their food and they release oxygen. Humans or animals release carbon dioxide. The amount of carbon dioxide released by humans or animals seems to be equal to the amount used by the plants, which make a perfect balance. But students, always remember that the balance gets upset by burning of fuels such as coal and oil. They add billions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere each year. As a result, do you know, students, what happened? The increased volume of carbon dioxide affects the Earth's atmosphere, weather and climate. Do you know, students, that the carbon dioxide released in the atmosphere creates a greenhouse effect by trapping the heat radiated from the earth. It is therefore called a greenhouse gas, and without it the earth would have been too cold to live in. However, when its level in the atmosphere increases due to factory smoke or car fumes, the heat retained increases the temperature of the earth, and this is called global warming. This rise in temperature causes the snow in coldest part of the world to melt. As a result, the sea level rises, which causes the floods in the coastal areas. There may be drastic changes in the climate of a place, leading to the extinction of some plants and animal in the long run. Till now, students, we have studied about atmosphere and the composition of the atmosphere. Now, it is a time to look at the topic structure of the atmosphere. So now, we'll start the topic structure of the atmosphere. Our atmosphere is divided into 5 layers, starting from the Earth's surface. These are Troposphere, Stratosphere, Mesosphere, Thermosphere, and the last one is Exosphere. So let's start with the Troposphere. Troposphere. This layer is the most important layer of the atmosphere. Its average height is 13 kilometers, as you all can see in the figure also. The air we breathe exists here. Almost all the weather phenomena like rainfall, fog occur in this layer only. Now we'll study about the next layer of the atmosphere, that is stratosphere. Above the troposphere lies the stratosphere. It extends up to a height of 50 kilometers. This layer is almost free from clouds and associated weather phenomena, making conditions most ideal for flying aeroplanes. One important feature of stratosphere is that it contains a layer of ozone gas. We have just learned how it protects us from the harmful effect of the sun rays. Now student, let's look at the mesosphere. This is the third layer of the atmosphere. It lies above the stratosphere. It extends up to the height of 80 kilometers. Meteorites burn up in this layer on entering from the space. Now we'll study about the fourth layer of the atmosphere, and that layer is called thermosphere. In thermosphere, temperature rises very rapidly with increasing height. Ionosphere is the part of this layer. It extends between 80 to 400 kilometers. This layer helps in radio transmission. In fact, radio waves transmitted from the earth are reflected back to the earth by this layer only, students. Now we'll study about the last layer of the atmosphere, that is exosphere. The uppermost layer of the atmosphere is known as exosphere. This layer has very thin air. Light gases like helium and hydrogen float into the space from here. Students, I am having one activity for you all. In this activity, you have to note down the weather report for the next 10 days from a local newspaper and observe the changes occurring in the weather. Students, two very important terms, that is weather and climate, are associated with this chapter, atmosphere. So let's study a bit about the weather and climate. Is it going to rain today, or will it be bright and sunny today? How many times have we heard this from our friends? A lot many times. So now, do you know, students, there is a difference between both the terms weather and climate. So in today's session, we'll clear these two terms also. So let's study what is weather. Weather is the hour to hour or day-to-day condition of the atmosphere, like a hot or humid weather may make one irritable. A pleasant, breezy weather may make one cheerful and even plan for an outing. Weather can change dramatically from day to day. But if we'll talk about the climate, Then the climate is the average weather condition of a place for a longer period of time. This represents the climate of a place. Now, do you understand why we have the daily weather forecast? Just to signify the condition of the atmosphere of that particular day. So that's all for today. I hope you understood about the atmosphere, composition of atmosphere and structure of the atmosphere. Thank you, students.